All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for coming to our after hours with PDE. And today we're going to be focusing on social studies. We have Owen Deitz here, I believe, with PDE as a consultant. And I'm just going to turn it over to him to do an introduction of himself and also his replacement, or I guess I'll let him take care of it, introducing Don as well. So he's going to do his introductions and he's going to just start sharing what he has for you guys today, and then we'll have some time for Q&A at the end. We'll have a hard stop at 4 o'clock, just so everybody can move on with their afternoon. But Owen, take it away.
Okay, thanks, Scott. Greetings, everyone. My name is Dave Deitz. Owen is my first name, but we don't use that too often. We try to keep that a secret. I'm here as a consultant to the Department of Education. My real life is as a retired music teacher, working at the Department of Education in the Division of Curriculum. And one of the things that I've done in about the past year and change is do some work with social studies, because the social studies advisor had left the department to go work for a book company. I've been in touch with Sally, and she's doing great. But just today, I believe, we're bringing on a new social studies advisor, Don McCrone, and Don is on the call today. Yep, Don is waving and saying hello. What I would like to do today is just to make sure that people know what is available to them on the SAS portal. There might be some new things that you don't know about. And then also to look at the idea of our professional learning communities. So let me see if I can get this. Can you see my screen? Somebody want to speak?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, so you're seeing, all right. So our standards aligned system, the SAS portal, I'm just going to do something a little crazy here. I'm going to show you that when you move it over, all of those things that were sitting up here, they are now in a drop-down menu. But when you expand the screen, then they stretch out. And I personally just call this the front part of the site. I won't spend too much time on the front part of the site, but to let you know that if you want to know something about standards in social studies, in history, geography, civics and government, history, you can find those standards. You can find the standards provided in a variety of ways. I quite often just do the download standards. And you just have to be careful, because these are academic standards and not core standards in Pennsylvania. So you have to go there to find them. And then you scroll down once you do that, and there's civics and government, economics, geography, and history. I forgot economics at the beginning. And when you pop them up, they are PDFs, and you can go through and see what the standards are. But you can also go to the standards and pop these up any number of ways. Okay, get down there. And the assessment component, I don't think there's very much for social studies on the assessment component, but the curriculum framework is very rich. And you can click on curriculum framework. Again, scroll down to social studies, and you will see that there is an overall curriculum framework, long-term transfer goals, big IDs, essential questions in civics and government, economics, geography, and history, subject area curriculum frameworks, and these are all done as Word documents. Don't mind my messy stuff over here. So there are Word documents that help you to decipher some of the information that you'll read in the standards, and some ideas to help you build your own curriculum frameworks within your own school districts and in your own courses and within your own grade levels. So questions so far? Hearing none. Instruction, these particular items, I don't think, this is not where, no, this is not where we'll find a toolkit that you'll want later. Materials and resources, lots of crazy things here. Some school districts provide voluntary model curriculum. You can click on that and see what other schools are doing. And the Power Library, I would always recommend the Power Library. If you've not used it, it's a really rich resource, but I know a lot of schools have direct links from their own teacher portals that go to the Power Library as well. So that's not as new to people as it used to be. And then we have a component on safe and supportive schools. Of more interest, I think, and I say more interest because as content advisors, we have some control over this particular area. And that's well, I call it the backside of the site. And all of your personal kinds of things. You can put your own personal profile there. You can create an e-portfolio where whenever you find something interesting, you can drop it in here and save it. You can create a website. Now, the SAS portal was developed about 10 to 12 years ago. And at that point in time, a lot of school districts did not have their own school district websites. Most do now, and most have the capability for teachers to build their own websites in the school district portal. But if you don't have that capability, you can build one right here. If you build any assessments, there's a template in My Assessment. In My Curriculum Maps, you'll find some curriculum mapping tools for you to create your own curriculum maps. So this is really, all this stuff is about building your own items. The student learning objectives, this information is the exact same information that you'll find over here in the student learning objectives in the instruction part. We just have it in both places because originally it was just in the professional learning community area. And then there are lesson plan templates. You can build your lessons using some standardized lesson plan templates. Communities, we'll go back to that. If you ever need to take a professional development course, your principal might recommend that you or your department or something take some professional development. There are many courses here that are listed. They are free. You can get Act 48 hours for anything you take on the professional development center courses, and then you can evaluate them here, and then of course you can log out from this. But I want to go back to communities, and we'll click communities, and you'll see I already have some communities to which I belong. But before we leave today and I go back to the beginning and get out of the share, I'm going to leave some directions in the chat for how you can join the social studies professional learning community. I think I've talked too much today. My tongue is getting confused. And then once you join the professional learning community, well, first you can learn there are 961 members. There are no events at the moment. Some of the groups that normally put events here, like the Pennsylvania Council for Social Studies and all of that, their online event is passed. But when there are events for social studies teachers, we try to post them here. So I'll click and go into this community. And the professional learning community is built into two large sections. The first section is the forum. So Don, we need to get Sally's picture or my picture out of here and get Don's in there. And then there is a content repository. And I have not done a lot with the social studies, and I know that Don will do more coming up to rebuild it. But We put some resources in here. And these, you may know some of these resources, or these are all links where you can go to some resources. And a lot of these are very specifically pointed to our need for online learning. And I will take you back and show you where we have some online learning materials in social studies. So a list of a lot of things there. You, as a teacher and a member, can go in, click on this, you can hit edit, and you can add things to this particular resource, to anything in the forums, you can do that. Sally had put up some things about D-Day 2044 and what that all means. So some interesting little things there. Oh, gotta go back to the forum. Voting and coronavirus. I was asked to put something up because there was so much confusion earlier about whether it was possible to change the date of the election based on voting. So I tried to find some resources to let people read, and then you have to read them and determine what you perceive. We provide resources. Some people like the resources, some don't. We know you have to take what you can from them and use them in appropriate ways. Cultural diversity in American history. I put up some resources here as well. One of the more controversial ones, of course, is the 1619 Project. And make sure that you understand that just because it's here on the SAS portal is not an endorsement by the Department of Education. Again, we provide resources, and the group that needs to endorse what you use is your local school district, because your local school district is the group that signs off on the content that you use to teach the standards. The Department of Education does not sign off on that, but we do try to provide you with as much information as possible. The content repository, if you're a teacher who is working with some of these kinds of things right now, if you want to learn more about standards, there are some links here that you can learn more about standards. The Act 35 Civics Knowledge Test, there's a lot of questions going on right now about how do we build this? We have to do this. It's going to be reported on the Future Ready portal this year. And so we don't know what to do in our school district. Your school district is the level at which decisions are made about what this assessment will look like, and to what grade levels this assessment is delivered. But there's some very nice pieces in here in Word documents that you can pull down, and you can get more and more links to resources to help you understand, civic skills, which is the second pillar of the Act 35 initiative and information. The Act 70, Holocaust, Genocide, and Human Rights Violation Education, that too was a government mandate. So there are some items here that can help support student learning of that information. The civics and government resources and documents, there's a copy of our current citizenship test. We suspect that may change sometime between now and January 20th. So we want to keep our eyes on that, and we may have to pull this one off and put in a new one up. Curriculum framework alignment documents. Again, these are support documents, things that might help you to build scope and sequence, things that might help you to look at what standard alignment language looks like in social studies. Items for elementary, some geography documents and resources, and Sally would always tell us history, it all goes back to history. So she had some stuff for a Keystone content module. There was a point in time where a Keystone was built, for civics and government and a few other things. So you can certainly use this to look at how you might put together some curriculum items that would support the Keystone Assessment in civics and government. So many things to click on today. Mathematical practice and social studies, you know, what's the, a lot of your schools are probably espousing the idea of the 8 mathematical standards. I know I teach the 8 mathematical standards in arts. What does it look like in social studies? Make sense of problems and persevere in solving them. And so in social studies, it's like, how do you get information? Who was involved? What roles were played in the problem? What roles were played in the solution? Different ways to think through the 8 mathematical practices from a social studies perspective. I think that's always an interesting document. And professional development handouts, just some things that I know Sally had done and put in there. And some standards workbooks, geography workbook, just some pieces. Again, that are designed to help you build curriculum, build scope and sequence. And she has supporting documents all throughout this that help you to understand what you would do with these particular items. And so also on this, if you had an idea and you wanted to put a new folder, you would have the power to do that. And in the future, Don McCrone would, you know, just check in to make sure that the information that's been put in these folders in both the content repository and in the forums is appropriate and not inappropriate. I think I wanted to show you, oh gosh, I've forgotten what I wanted to show you. It may come back to me, it may not. So those are the things that I wanted to show you today, and I'm going to ask, first of all, there are any questions before I stop my screen share. And there are no questions. Okay. I think I gave appropriate wait time. I'm a music teacher. We don't wait, we hurry up. So I'm going to stop my share and then go to the chat. Let's see, and there's nothing in the chat, but I'm going to attempt to put something in the chat, and that would be the directions for joining the SAS Social Studies PLC. And does everyone see that information in the chat? So, Don, maybe you'd like to take a moment to introduce yourself and tell the folks a little bit about your background and what great things you're going to do that I didn't do.
Well, yeah, hello, everyone. Not sure about doing anything great quite yet. I'm still, I think it's my second day in the job. So I am a formal social studies teacher. I used to teach social studies and English at the middle school and high school levels at a school district outside of Harrisburg here at Susquehanna Township School District. I got my bachelor's degree in history and secondary education from Lebanon Valley College and my master's from Penn State, I think back in 2006, I believe. My primary areas of focus, colonial and revolutionary America, early modern Europe, roughly from the time of Columbus up until end of the French Revolution around 1815 or so. Comparative history, I do love comparative history. I think it's valuable. I think it's incredibly important and often neglected. And also, I like to dabble in classical Greece and the Roman Republic. So I'm kind of all over the place, and the longer I study history and social studies, the more I see how interconnected it all is, very much interconnected. And so sometimes I find myself wandering through Chinese history, Japanese history, so forth and so on. So my scope's pretty broad, and I have been out of social studies history, social studies for the past about 12 years. I'm coming from another position in PDE in the Division of Federal Programs. So last 10 years, 12 years or so, I've been working with federal education grants, pushing out Title I money. If you guys are familiar with Title I and what that is. So that was my job, and especially up in your area, up in the Blast Intermediate IU 17, up there many times over the past 12 years or so, and I love going up there. Work with Sarah McNett quite a bit. So I'm happy to be on board. I'm happy to be doing what I love and what I've always loved. It's my passion, and give me a little patience. Let me get up to speed here, and I hope to be working with you in the future.
Thanks, Don. Are there any questions at all? Since we've heard silence, maybe we could ask you to take a moment to introduce yourselves. Jeremy.
Yeah, I work for the IU. I teach alternative education. I teach social studies and science, 5 different classes. My primary background is in social studies with a degree in history, but I teach U.S. history, global studies, and American systems, which is a collaboration of civics and government, economics and sociology. And then we didn't have a biology teacher, and when the Keystones came out, we had to do biology. So they were doing it online, and I took a look at that, and I said, I can do a better job than that. So I went back and got a biology cert to teach our kids. But that's it.
Teachers, we are jacks of all trades. John. John Rainier, are you among us? How about Micah?
There, sorry about that.
I'm here. Oh.
I take you can hear me now then. John Rainier, I've been doing a long-term sub at Troy High School. I have a bachelor's degree in social studies that I got from Mansfield. I graduated in 2005.
Woohoo.
I personally did a career change. I decided after being 30 years in the private sector to make a change. And for the most part, I do day-to-day subbing, and I just thought it would be of interest to see what was available out there for as far as online learners, or as far as teaching and so forth. Mainly just for my own information.
Okay, thank you, John. Mansfield, I'm a proud Mansfield grad myself. Not 2005, and I did not go back to, well, I went back to do my doctoral degree when I was much older. But yeah, I'm more like 1974, long time ago. Micah.
Hello. So I am currently a social studies teacher at Montgomery Area School District. I'm teaching U.S. History 2, Reconstruction to World War II, as well as U.S. government. I'm a long-term sub for U.S. History right now. We are currently hybrid, but I took this as prepared as I can in case we do go remote at some point. I want to make sure that I'm prepared as I can. I also graduated from Bloomsburg University recently. I have minors in educational technology and in special ed.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Micah. I'm going to take just one more moment and see if I can figure out how I'm going to try and do a screen share again. Are you all now seeing my screen? In the front part of the site, in this section up here, under instruction, oh wait. Yes. Under instruction, we have, when you click instruction, you'll see that you get all of these buttons, and some of the buttons down here, like this one, the online resources for instruction. When you click on that, this page was developed for the purpose of supporting online learning. Some of you may be interested in the financial literacy resources page that's here, because that is sometimes considered a part of social studies learning. It's also a part of family and consumer science learning. And then down here, you'll see there are social studies resources there. Well, you click on it and then it pops up here. And once you bring that page up, there are lots of links. Probably a lot of the platforms, people are familiar with them now. That support social studies learning, not just how to run a platform like Zoom or Padlet or something like that, but a lot of pages there that will hopefully be of use to if you have to online or hybrid instruction. So we are just about the 4 o'clock hour, and to turn this back back over to Scott.
Okay.
Did I stop sharing?
Yeah, you did. You're good.
Okay, great.
Yeah, we're right about at 4. So I want to just thank Dave and Don for coming out today to take some time out of their afternoons and just share with us some of those resources. This was recorded, so we will certainly send this out to everybody, and also I can post it on our website so you can check it out again at a later time. But yeah, thanks for coming out again to our After Hours with PD session, and have a great afternoon.